Have the Qwellers surpassed TWC in the short space of time that they have been in the industry? Now, we do understand that TWC are a very, very, very prominent group in South African hip hop, right? But we also have to acknowledge the fact that the Qwellers came in, they set the bar, created a new style and a new sound to SA hip hop.
Right. So would y'all say that we're in a new era right now where y'all are the leaders of this new wave right now?
The Qwellers, dog, we haven't been here for even a year, dog. So what the Qwellers are doing right now is crazy.
So before diving into anything, we need to understand the foundation of each group, right? The Wrecking Crew is a prominent South African hip-hop collective which consisted of many, but primarily A-Reese, Smash Beats, Words, Flame, Echo, X-Global. You guys get the drill, right? They are considered as one of the most prolific and influential groups in South African hip-hop, having released numerous albums and EPs, right? The group gained significant traction in the 2010s, becoming a force to be reckoned with in the local music scene. The Qwellers, on the other hand, consist of 10 solo artists who are making waves in SA hip-hop with their youthful energy and unique sound. They were founded in 2023 and are based in Braamfontein. The group is known for the Qwellet phrase and the motto "By the Qwellers, for the Qwellers." So they have also gained attention for their distinct fashion sets, right? And the members of the Qwellers, Banengi, so if I'm leaving out some, I apologize, but I know Young Boy Vegeta, Blue Papi, La Cabra, Ola Tasha, Sasti, Skatli, Seaside Boys, Geppetto, my personal favorite, The Hood Pope, and many more. If I'm forgetting a few, Nyatolisa, guys. But that's obviously not enough for us to draw a conclusion and for me to make my points, right? Because TWC dropped bangers. TWC dropped so many bangers, it's not even funny, right? For starters, let's speak about the L3 project. The L3 project came out around the same time as Touch My Blood. Literally, AKA's Touch My Blood. And I must say, that was really, it wasn't easy competition for AKA at that time. They really had a moment for themselves, you know what I'm saying? And for me though, I really feel like if we're looking at how many platinum hits or gold certified records that the Wrecking Crew have, it's literally close to none. Like they literally have no platinum records and no gold records, right? Most of the platinum or gold records come from either A-Reese featuring this, or it's never been a situation where the group collectively has like a platinum hit or gold hit, you know what I'm saying? And I think it's fair to say that in our country, Vele, it's not easy to get certifications, right? Especially in the streaming era. But because the Wrecking Crew was more than just accolades, they were a movement that sort of carried music. I mean, they actually carried music in the, late 2010s of the era of SA hip hop. But anyway, they carried the youth, the music and the youth side of things. But I don't think it's fair for us to actually compare the Wrecking Crew to groups like Squatter Camp, to groups like Tear Gas, to groups like Brasa Fanika, POC, even Godesa, Glitz Gang. I don't think it's fair for us to even compare the Wrecking Crew to any of these groups, because these groups had an identity. These groups have accolades as groups. Squatter Camp has summer awards as Squatter Camp. Tear Gas has platinum hits as Tear Gas. POC has a big ass movement that they did for hip hop, and a movement that will always be remembered because it's the start and the creation of hip hop that will always be remembered as the group. You know what I'm saying? But as for the Wrecking Crew, they don't have that thing that would remind us of the Wrecking Crew besides their music. The influence is almost like close to none, right? And I'm trying to be respectful as possible. Like, I hope I'm not coming off as disrespectful, right? But with that being said, for starters, the Qwellers have already gotten themselves a multi-platinum single, which was featuring, they were featuring on Java's Typhoon, right? And one thing I like about the Qwellers is that they never show up separately, right? They're either going to show up by 3 or by 4 or whatnot, and it's always the Qwellers. It's never, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, they showed up as the Qwellers, and say I'm lying, guys, man. This is like one thing that I've been thinking about like this whole time. Say I'm lying, right? But when Ricky Rick said, listen to the kids, right? He was talking about the Qwellers. Whatever vision Ricky had about the future of SA hip hop, he was talking about the Qwellers. He was talking about Brother Cooper, right? I know a lot of people out there, yeah, maybe you might not like the Brother Cooper sound. To be honest, I also don't, right? Because I feel like it's kind of diluting. It's kind of diluting our classics. You know what I'm saying? I have nothing against their movement, nothing against their sound. I'm really like happy that the kids have a movement that they're doing. And maybe I'm just old. You know, like I also thought to myself that maybe I reached that point in my life where I'm just like, you know what? Maybe I'm actually unk. You know, maybe I shouldn't be expecting to like mess with the kids' music. You know what I'm saying?
10 out of 10.
But anyway, the influence of the Qwellers has now reached like Abomakoko, bro. I don't want to lie to you. I've heard it. I've heard they lingo on soapies. I've heard they lingo on all over the internet. I've heard they lingo in so many rappers' songs. Never mind they lingo. How many artists needed a feature from the Qwellers in 2024? Let's not say had a feature. How many artists needed a feature from the Qwellers in 2024? You know what I'm saying? They dropped projects separately that also did well. And when they drop projects separately, it's still not separately. They still come through as a collective. It's like, yes, La Cabra's project, but La Cabra will come through with these bros and showcase that, yo, I got my bros in this, whatnot. Sasti will come through with these bros. You know what I'm saying? And after listening to these guys' debut album, man, I am so proud of these guys. I'm so proud of where they come from. So proud of them not stopping the journey that they've went through to actually create this super patanga of a movement. Is just crazy, you know. And the whole of South Africa's calling it. The whole of South Africa's calling it. The whole of South Africa's squashing it or whatever. And I'm just proud of these guys, you know. And they were on multiple projects, bro, like KTK, Blue Barbie, Only the Brave, I think it was Sasti and La Cabra, Ricky's latest, Lo-Fi and Barbie. Gigi needed a feature from them. Slick had them on the album. P4P, Pray for Pitori had it. It's just crazy. I could go on for the whole day about how the Qwellers have actually already done a lot more than TWC. A lot more than TWC could ever even accomplish. I feel like even if TWC was still together today, they wouldn't have been able to accomplish what the Qwellers have accomplished in just a year, right? It's not hate. I don't want this to come across as hate because I grew up around the time of TWC. That's my childhood. You know what I'm saying? I'll always respect TWC. Like how I'm saying right now is that I may not mess with the music from the kids, but I see the vision. I see the vision. They just need to stay in the game more, focus on the music. Brother Cooper just needs to focus on his pen. I remember having a talk with my cousin about Brother Cooper. He just needs to like stick on his pen, focus on his pen. And they out of here, bro. I don't want to lie. They've literally cracked that thing South Africa has been needing for SA hip hop. Lakasha can manage to be Playboy Cardi, but can also manage to become a Playboy Cardi or Shayu Maskandi. You know what I'm saying? Which is something that I have never ever. It's mind blowing. So I think the Qwel has done more than TWC, and now it's time to actually see if the Qwellers can do more than Tear Gas. The Qwellers can do more than Squatter Camp. The Qwellers can do more than you know, Godessa or whatever group that's been out there, Morafe. I hadn't even meant. I remember there was a video where I said TWC's top 5 groups of all time. I retract that statement. Hell nah. Oh, there's so many groups I have to think about first before I could think about TWC. You know what I'm saying? There's so many. I can't even think about, bro. But anyway, do I think the Qwellers have done more than TWC? Hell yeah.